So it's a big oversized sleeve, and I am so excited for it. I think it's going to be like really long and like squishy. I mean, you can see there's so much ease in it. So I'm just imagining this to be like the warmest, coziest cardigan. Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Nitty Natty. Welcome to episode 254 of the Love and Stitches podcast. Today I am coming to you from my parents' house in Tennessee. I've got a little temporary setup going here, trying to create a little ambiance. I have a candle. It smells like waffles. It smells so good. But lots of exciting things happening today with projects. I've also got some spinning to show you. But before we get into any of that, I wanted to let you know that this is the second to last episode of the year, which is so wild to think, but that's because Vlogmas is coming up. So videos are not going away. Actually, more videos are coming. So next week is going to be the final official podcast of the year. Actually, that's going to be nice because we're going to end at 255, which is kind of a rounded number. I like that. That works well in my brain. I hadn't thought about that yet. And then starting on Sunday, December 1st, I am going to be releasing a shorter video every single day where you can still keep up with all of the projects that are going on, like my knitting and crochet and my spinning and other stuff in my life. It's just going to be more bite-sized and casual and broken down. And also every video for that will come out even earlier. So they're going to come out at 8 a.m. Eastern time every single day from December 1st to December 25th. I did decide that I'm just going to go ahead and do videos every single day and release them that way. Then we will continue to have our yarn store tours on Saturdays at noon Eastern time. So please come and join for those. They're going to be such a blast. I think that's everything I have for the top of the hour. So let's get into projects. I am starting to think about wrapping all of these projects up so that I can get ready for December knitting and crochet, which I'm going to be opening up Advents. I have several projects in mind. That's actually on my to-do list for like a couple days from now. We are not here at my parents' house for very long before we leave again. So I have to get all my Advent stuff organized and then take it with me when we leave on Friday. Today is Monday. No, sorry, we're leaving Thursday. We're like barely here for a second. So I'm also thinking, how am I going to wrap up my current whip? So let's start with this one. I have my Halloween socks still going, but I'm making progress with them every single day. So my routine for these right now is that I'm working on them for 30 minutes in the morning when I'm doing my knitting and reading and having breakfast. That's been a really good routine. I'm also working on them other times. I've mentioned before that in the Love and Stitches membership right now, we're doing a whip wrap up. So every day is kind of a different challenge, and you have 3 whips like assigned 1, 2, and 3. So this is my whip number. Wait, which one is this? I think this is whip number 3. I think technically I'm supposed to be working on this all day today, or maybe that's tomorrow, but I need to look at that and see. Some days I'm not quite on the schedule as everyone else is, but some days I'm working on this for longer basically, and then at a minimum, I'm trying to work on this for 30 minutes a day, and they're moving. So I just had barely started last week with the cuff, and now look at this. I am all finished with the leg. I finished the heel flap this morning, and I just started on the heel turn. Once I get these picked up, I think they're just really going to move. Actually, I need to get them picked up and then get through the gusset decreases. And then I find that the socks practically finish themselves, which is really, really great. So thinking about getting everything wrapped up by the end of November so I can be ready for December, I actually want to get these done this week. So I'm hoping by the next episode, these are going to be completely done and finished. It'd be even nicer if I could finish them before we leave for Florida on Thursday, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's a little too much pressure. I'd rather keep working on my other projects. And plus we're bringing our van, so we have plenty of space. So as long as I can get these done, I think by the next podcast, I still will have most of a week of November left. I keep thinking this is the last week of November, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to finish everything this week because starting this weekend is Advent, but it's not. It's the next weekend. So I have to keep reminding myself of that. That is the second sock. So once that one is done, I will be all finished up with these Halloween socks. My Salty Days sweater is looking so good, and I think I'm gonna finish this one before December as well, which is just incredible because that was my goal originally, but then I didn't even get this started until mid-October. Like, I hoped I'd start it the beginning of October. I thought, wow, 2 months with a worsted weight sweater. It's on size 8 needles. That will be no problem. I will get it done. And then I didn't get started until like, I don't know, October 15th or something. But I am working on the first sleeve now and it's going really fast. So I feel really good about finishing this before the end of the month. So here is what she's looking like. And I've got some clanging because I have 2 sets of needles on here. So this is the Salty Day sweater by Veronica Lindberg. In the last week, I finished the neck and I love doing this on a sweater. Usually this is the last thing as far as like pattern order, like it's the last section in the pattern. And so I always used to feel like I had to do that very last, like I just had to follow like a recipe in order. But actually it's really nice to go ahead and get that done for many reasons. One, you don't want to run out of yarn on something that's like a finishing detail. So like I didn't want to run out of yarn on this. I'm not worried about running out of yarn on this sweater, but that can happen. Whereas if you are running out of yarn, maybe on the sleeves or the body, you could say, well, okay, I'll make the sleeve a little shorter than I had originally planned, or I'll crop it a little more. That's a little easier to do than just completely not have a neckband. So I like having that done. Also, I feel like it helps figuring out the fit. If you have the neck on there, when you're trying it on, you can really see like how it's going to hang in its finality. And then also, I just like how it looks. Like I like the fact that I am knitting on a sweater that looks more finished. I just feel like that's very motivating and I enjoy it. And I think that's great. So this neckline, I'm so proud of it. I think it looks so good. And that is definitely due to how this is designed. There's so many good details in the sweater that help it just look really polished. So I was admiring the like one beautiful stitch that kind of goes along here that I worked while I was working the top part of the sweater. This is a top down sweater. And I'm like, how nice does that look when you pick up those stitches? It's just beautiful. And then the collar is folded down. It's like doubled up. So you knit this twice as long, fold it over, and then you're supposed to sew it. But I like doing a method where you bind off and like seam it together at the same time. So I've knit, double this. And then as I go to bind off, I actually pick up a stitch from where I picked up stitches originally and it folds over on itself. So you go into the stitch, your live stitch, you go into a piece or a stitch like down at the very beginning, you knit that together, and then you do that one more time. So you have 2 stitches on your needle and then you bind off. And in order to keep it really stretchy, I went up 3 needle sizes, I think, because the needle size on this is really tiny. It's like 2.5. So I think I did it with a 4. So like 2 needle sizes up, I guess. Did it 2 needle sizes up and I did it really nice and loose and it's stretchy and it fits great. And I've tried it on and it looks so, so good. So after I finished the neck, I then blocked this because I wanted to see. It was looking very long and skinny and I was like, I don't know if this is looking right. So I blocked it with the neck on there. I cut my yarn and I just threw it on try it on tubing. I wasn't done with the bottom yet. And I blocked it, laid it out flat to dry, and then I picked it back up and I finished the bottom hem. So it's still on a needle right now, but there's where I was, my piece of pumpkin pie. It's stuck in the mohair right now. But I was... Let's see, right here. So I did all of this ribbing, which did take a while, twisted ribbing on tiny needles. It wasn't the most comfortable on my hands, but it worked. I think it looks really, really nice. So going from a size 8 down to a 2.5 is a pretty drastic change. But I think it looks really, really good. So I did that. And so basically everything except for the sleeve that I started on this week and most of the ribbing down here has been blocked. So it's pretty accurate to how it's going to be. So then I tried this on. Before starting the sleeve, I tried it on. I wanted to see how I liked the length and if I was ready to do my, is it Italian bind off? It's like the sewn bind off, which takes forever. And I'm like, I don't want to bind off until I know that I like the length. So I have a picture of me trying it on. It's a little hard to tell, right? Because I don't have any sleeves on it. and it's looking to me a little long and skinny, but I can't tell if it's because I'm just so used to wearing cropped things now, so this just feels enormous, or like, not enormous, it feels long, or if it's because I need the sleeves on there to kind of drop the shoulders down, because when there's no sleeves on it, the edges of the shoulders are kind of coming right here, but in the picture of the designer, the shoulders have dropped down quite a bit. So I'm wondering if once I get sleeves on it, it's going to drop the shoulders and kind of lift the hem. So what I decided to do is basically just not bind off yet. I don't have to decide yet. I don't want to make any decisions like too rashly and bind this off or take it out and make it shorter until I have all the other puzzle pieces in place. So therefore, I am working on sleeves. So I picked up the first sleeve and I did this in like the last 2 days, I think, with not a lot of knitting time. So I feel like this is gonna be really, really fast. This is actually most of the sleeve. I do need to try this on and see how it's looking like lengthwise. I typically do have to add a couple of inches to my sleeves because my arms are just long in proportion to what I usually pick for my bust size. So I will be trying that on soon. I think I have, let's see, maybe 6 more rows to go and then I'm doing something different. I don't know. So then I'll try it on then. But details in this pattern, look at how, stop clanking together. Look at how she has you do the decreases. So, oh, it's so hard to tell. I'm trying to hold it up. Basically, in this stitch pattern, where is it? I can't find it once I get it up into the camera. Here we go. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. So in this stitch pattern, she is very specific on how to decrease. I feel like in a lot of patterns, it'll just say like, you know, knit 1, knit 2 together, work to the last 3 stitches, slip, slip, knit, knit 1. And it says incorporate your pattern as you go. And there's always like, I feel like it always takes one sleeve to really figure out what that means and how it's going to look good. In this pattern, she doesn't have you even have to guess or decide or anything. She tells you exactly what to do, which results in this beautiful, you know, kind of decrease where these stitches kind of come together into this knit column. This knit column then goes to 1 stitch, and then it all happens again. And I just love that. I'm like, 1, I don't have to use my brain as hard, which is nice. And 2, it looks beautiful. And even though, yes, it's on the underarm or like underside of your arm, I feel like you can still see that when you're moving around. So 10 out of 10 for that detail. I really, really like that. So yeah, this is going really, really well. My plan was to do the neck and the bottom hem last week. So check. This week to do this first sleeve. Next week to do the second sleeve. So I'm actually kind of hoping to like scoot that up a little bit because I am going to have a few days lost with blocking because I want to block this. Once both sleeves are done, I want to block it. Make sure the sleeves are the right length because they could grow too. I don't know. So I won't bind them off until I block everything. So essentially I'm going to knit the whole rest of the sweater and I'm going to have sleeves on both sides on hold. This on hold, block the whole thing, try it on, kind of let it sit, see if I like the length on everything, and then I might have to make some adjustments. I'm really hoping that once everything comes together, everything looks good and fits good, and I don't have to make any changes, but I would rather know now so that I can shorten things or fix things before binding off. This week is a wild one for us because we just got back to my parents' house last night and we leave on Thursday to go to Kent's mom's in Orlando. Luckily, we don't have to worry about meal planning this week thanks to Factor. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Today for lunch, I had the honey mustard chicken with rosemary potatoes and garlic green beans, and it was absolutely delicious. When our box arrives, Kent and I do this silly thing where we like have a meeting about who is going to have which meal, and we divide them up so we know what we're gonna eat for the week. They also have more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunches, snacks, and beverages to help you stay fueled and feel good all day long. The apple beet ginger juice is so good. I highly recommend this one. Factor takes all of the stress out of meal planning. I can skip the grocery store, the prep work, and the decision fatigue, and I get yummy meals delivered right to my door. And when things get hectic, Factor is flexible. You can change up your plan every single week with options from 4 to 18 meals, and you can pause or reschedule at any time. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code NATTY50 to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code NATTY50 at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Next up, I have cast on something brand new. I've shown the swatch. I actually did a half a swatch and then waited a few weeks and then did another swatch, but I finally started my Nordlig cardigan. It is by Fibertails. It's an all over brioche, super loose, super squishy, very, her version is very rustic looking. It's got a Gotland wool, so it's very hairy looking. Mine is a non-superwash wool, but it looks totally different. So I'm using Ruby and Rose's Rustic Rose DK, which is 100% non-superwash merino in the color Rosy Cheeks. Last I checked, there are still 25 skeins left of this. So if you want to grab some, get it before it is totally gone. I have a sleeve, or most of one anyway. So this sweater, it's a cardigan, has a really interesting construction, one I've never done before, which makes it really exciting and fun. And I have actually enjoyed starting with the sleeve so much. So in the pattern, the instructions do say to start with the sleeve, and this time it is integral because the sleeves then come together in the middle of the back. So I'm not 100% sure yet. I did read through the pattern, but some of it confused me a little. And whenever anything confuses me in the pattern that is, a distance ahead, I kind of go, okay, I'm gonna wait until I get here in the actual knitting and it will make more sense then. So I'm just gonna wait. Hold on. Okay, what was I saying? So you start at the sleeve. I'm sorry, I don't know where I was. You start at the sleeve and then you work your way in the round up to here. And then at some point, I believe you start to work flat. And I think you cast on stitches or you cast them off and you cast them on so that you kind of make this panel that goes like down your mid back and it meets in the middle. So like, I think I'll probably do both sleeves and then continue on just because that would be kind of fun to like, I don't know, see what's going on. Plus working a sleeve, especially with it being detached from the entire sweater, has been a really great portable project that I never have thought of because typically I am working a sleeve from the body of the sweater out, making it a little bit less portable, not as easy to take around. So I've never thought of sleeves as like, oh, this is like an easy portable project. I have to say, when working it this way, it makes the whole sleeve island thing not an issue because now it's just an easy big sock kind of, and something I've taken around with me. So I might be looking for more patterns that are knit this way because I don't know, it's some kind of psychology to it that it just feels faster. So speaking of our beautiful sleeve decreases that I showed on the salty days, this one has some beautiful sleeve increases with brioche. So this is the underside of the arm. And it's been really nice and fun to make. So it's a big oversized sleeve and I am so excited for it. I think it's going to be like really long and like squishy. I mean, you can see there's so much ease in it. So I'm just imagining this to be like the warmest, coziest cardigan. And I don't know, I'm excited for it. It's different. The yarn is amazing. And it's been so much fun to make so far. I have a little spinning to show you. My goal is to try to spin for about half an hour every day. That has not happened every day this week, but some days I've not spun at all, and some days I've spun twice for 30 minutes or more than 30 minutes, and it's still fun to me, although I'll get to that in a second. I wanted to show you my first little skein of yarn that I made with Brianna. So half of this, the white, is my very first thing that I spun on the electric wheel. And then like the purpley reddish color is something that Brianna had spun, which is a lot thinner. So it's kind of this funny, multi-textured skein, but it's cute and it's a little mini. And I think I'm going to use it for a plastic canvas project. So I'm actually going to use my first skein of yarn, which I think will be really, really fun. And I am working on my second skein. So I'm going to show it to you. Actually, hold on. I've got a couple different things to show you here. So I am now playing with color. I am working with this beautiful braid. It is dyed by the Little Wolf Knits, and it is Targi, I believe. So this is my first time spinning with color. Before that, I was just spinning with undyed fiber. So what Brianna challenged me to do is try different things throughout this braid to understand how splitting it different ways can make different colors. So the first thing she did was she actually took the braid and she broke it in half like this way, not splitting it down the middle, but like actually broke it like that. So what I have here that's attached is a part of a half of that. So that's my second half. The first half I have already spun up, and I spun that two different ways. So the first thing that I did is we split the braid down the middle in half, and we set one half aside. So that was, I guess, it was a half of the braid, but a quarter of the total amount. You know, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm sharing this in a way that can be visually like understandable, but we did record it in the vlog where I learned to spin. So if you haven't seen that one yet, go back. It was last Tuesday's video. But anyway, the first part of it I spun was then I took that half and I split it in half. So now I'm like in eighths, but like quarter of the width of the braid. And I spun that up, and that is underneath here on the bottom. And then I took that other quarter and I spun it like this. So basically, I just want you to know that this is when the braid was split. And it looks pretty cool. I'm also getting much more consistent with my spinning. So with the smaller amounts of fiber, the stripes are a little bit shorter. The colors are a little more like distinct and saturated. So keep this in mind. And I want to show you what I am spinning up now, because now I am spinning across the entire braid, and it is looking like this, which is so different from this one, right? Is that not wild? So spinning across the entire braid, I'm getting these longer, more subtle changes of color. It's more blended, it's softer, but longer sections. So I'm gonna be really curious to see what happens when I actually ply this. I'm gonna be plying the whole thing with a bare yarn, because I just want to see what happens. I don't know if I'll make anything with this. This first portion was pretty nice and consistent. It was my second bobbin to spin, so not perfect, but definitely more comfortable for me. Spinning across the entire braid has not been as comfortable. It's really wide, and I found that super awkward. So, you know, it's a lot of fiber to come from. So what I found that has helped me a lot is I've actually spread this out like on my leg when I'm spinning, and I kind of put my hand, how can I show this? I kind of put my hand, like if this is my leg, if this hand is my leg, I put my other hand like on top of it like this, and then of course I have a free hand because this one's my leg, and I let my free hand like has a little more space to like pull things apart. I don't know if that makes sense. Instead of like holding it like this, I'm spreading it out and putting my hand on top. And that's helped a lot, but it doesn't feel good on my back. So I'm figuring it out. I definitely like have improved already. I don't know if you can see how thick and like scraggly it is down here. This is where I first started on the going across the whole braid, and now it looks a lot better, a lot more consistent, slightly thinner. It just looks good. So I'm having fun, a lot of fun with this. I still have a lot to go on this braid. I don't really know how far I've gone so far, but I've made a lot of yarn, it feels like. Actually, that might be more yarn than this one. It kind of already looks like more yarn than this one. So maybe we didn't split it in half. Maybe I was supposed to split that one too. Oh well, whatever it is, it's gonna turn out super cool. And maybe next week, I will hopefully at least be working on the bare yarn, and then maybe a week from then, I'll have a new skein to show you. Last week we started out in Pennsylvania, drove all the way across Pennsylvania, and we went to a Penguins Stars hockey game. Was it Penguins? Yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins and Dallas Stars hockey game. Kent had the best time, especially because the Stars won by a lot. So that was really fun. It's been cool as we've been traveling to get to go to different like stadiums and arenas. Kent's really, really loved that. So that was a really great highlight to the beginning of our week. And then we ended our week in Ohio at Yarn Birds in Columbus. And for me, this was my highlight of the week. We had such a blast. So we first got there on Thursday. We stayed in our van Thursday night because we knew we were going to be filming on Friday morning. And I think this is our second time staying in a yarn store parking lot in our van. The first time was in Hot Springs in Arkansas. And then I feel like there might have been another time, but maybe not. So I think this is our second time. So sleeping in a yarn store parking lot, loved doing that. So we got up that next day. We filmed a tour at Yarn Birds. And if you've heard of Yarn Birds before, it's probably because you've heard of the Yarn Birds truck, Birdie, who goes to Cake Palooza and lots of other events. And it's an RV that's been converted into a yarn store, which is super cool. But what I did not realize is they have also a whole like event space that is kind of a brick and mortar because it's also an entire yarn store. We are going to show you all of that in February. That's when that tour is going to come out, but it's super awesome. Robin does such an amazing job with the store. So we filmed, and then that afternoon we had kind of a meet and greet, sit and stitch sort of situation. We had snacks. We had a bunch of people there. A ton of people from the Love and Stitches membership came, which was super fun. And it was a great time. We just got to like chat with everybody, and it was an amazing day. And then on Saturday, we were also there. The Nest is what the stationery spot is called. I don't know if they call it a brick and mortar or just like their I don't know. It's like it's the store, but it's not open all the time. So I want you to know that it's not open all the time, but you can like find out where they're going to be from their website. But it was so amazing. On Saturday, Ruby and Roses, our friends Addie and Devin, were doing a trunk show. And so we kind of hung out all day. We didn't really help them with their trunk show. We were just kind of there, but also got to hang out and meet people and meet even more Love and Stitches members and more lovely people from Columbus and the surrounding areas. We got to show them the van. We got to show them, like, let them meet Toaster. It was just a really, really fun day. Saturday was also for me, more chill. So I actually got to knit. That's when I got a lot of that sleeve on my Nordlig cardigan done. Got to kind of hang out. We had cake. It was really, really fun. And then on top of all of that, literally on top of it, on top of the yarn store, is an Airbnb where Devin and Addie and Kent and myself and Toaster got to stay together for 2 nights. So we also got to hang out with friends and chill, and Robin just was such a great host throughout that whole weekend. It was really, really fun. So after that, after that whole weekend, we spent all yesterday driving back here to Tennessee. It was like a 6-ish hour drive, but for some reason it felt so long. I think we're just like getting tired, getting really tired of traveling, but we have more travel coming up because on Thursday we are leaving for Orlando. So we're going to be driving about 5 to 6 hours Thursday and Friday to get there. So hopefully I will get some knitting time. Mr. Toaster, that you can't see over there laying on the bed, wants me to hold him the whole ride, and then I can't knit, which makes for, I guess that's probably why the drive seems so long. Let's round it out with what is coming up. Lots and lots of exciting things. So our next yarn store tour is coming this Saturday, November 23rd. It is Loop in, why can I not think of it? Oh, Philadelphia. I was like Loop in Pennsylvania, but I wanted to say the city first. Loop in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Amazing store. They have their own yarn line. I'm so excited to get to show you this one. So come and join us, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, November 23rd. We're going to continue having yarn store tours throughout December. The only time we're not going to have one is like that very last week of the year. So please come and join us for those. They are so much fun. Sockmas is going to be starting very, very soon. We'll be just about a week away when the podcast comes out. So November 29th through December 20th is Sockmas. And as of right now, our Discord is open. So we have a free Discord that you can come and join and hang out. You can share what you're working on. You can ask sock questions. It's just a community space. And then we're also going to have a Zoom cast-on party that is also free. The only thing you have to do is sign up. So I just need your name and your email because I need to be able to send you that Zoom link. I'm not posting it anywhere publicly. So when you sign up, you'll get the link to access Discord. And then the day of the Zoom, you will also get the link to Zoom. I'm going to have hopefully a couple people from Coven Collective who made our beautiful yarn come on. But if not, it's going to be me. I'm going to be hosting and we're going to have a great time starting our socks on Friday evening. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is 5 p.m. Pacific time. So hopefully you can make it and you don't have to wait until then to cast on your socks. You can start them on Friday morning. You can honestly start them now. Whatever you want to do is totally fine. I also have my pattern, the Winter Magic Socks pattern that is available right now. If you do join, officially join Sockmas by signing up for the Discord, you will get a 25% off coupon as well. Okay, what else is going on? Oh yes, I'm doing a sale on my Perfect Fit Socks course. Perfect Fit Socks is a course that I came out with 2 years ago, I think. And it has been available until the last couple of weeks. I pulled it down and I kind of looked through it. I did a little refresh on a couple of things, pulled some things out of there that didn't need to be on there. And I lowered the price because it's been out for a little while and I wanted to offer it at a lower price point. So the new price for Perfect Fit Socks is now $99. It is over 10 hours. I think it's actually 15 hours of course instruction on how to knit socks that are custom fit to you. They're top-down socks with the fish lips kiss heel, which I show you all of those things. I teach you how to take your measurements. You can do it for yourself. You can do it for somebody else. It kind of just allows you to make socks that will fit anybody perfectly. I have a formula that I share with you. It's a lot of instruction. So the sale is that it's only $79 through the end of November. You don't need any code. If you just go to the website, I'll put the link down below. If you just go to the website, it is $79 through the end of the month, and then the price will continue to be $99, which I think is a much better price point, and hopefully that allows more people to take that course and learn about knitting socks. Last thing here, the Love and Stitches membership opens on December 3rd. I can now share with you some of the things that are coming up in the next term because I was waiting to share them with my current members first before I shared them here. So I can share with you our make-alongs and some of our guests that are going to be coming in the next 5 months. So the next term is 5 months long. It's December and then January through April of 2025. So in those months, in December, we kind of do a very chill minis make along. So that way, if you're doing advents, it's perfect. If you're using scrap yarn, you're just doing cozy making, it all works for that. Then starting in the new year, we are going to be doing a bottoms up cowl that's going to go through, or sorry, not cowl, make along that's going to go through the whole rest of the term. So January through April. And we're doing that with the Wolfpack membership, the Little Wolf Knits. And we're going to be making garment bottom. So anything that you could make for your bottom half, it could be shorts, pants, skirts, skirts, or dresses, anything like that. We also have a really beautiful colorway that Brianna is dyeing for both my membership and her membership that you can only get if you're in our membership. So take a look at that. It's so pretty. So that will last for January and the whole rest of the term. Then we're going to be doing tapestry crochet in February, and I am bringing Vincent Williams of Vesuvius Crafts to teach us tapestry crochet. He also said he's going to come up with a special motif for us, so I'm really excited for that. My members have been asking to do a brioche knitting make-along, so we're going to be doing brioche in March, and Leslie Ann Robinson, who's a fantastic designer, is going to be teaching a more advanced advanced brioche class during March. And then in April, we are spring cleaning, and that is what I do best. So I'm going to be taking over that one. We're going to be spring cleaning our projects and our stash together, and I'm really excited. It's going to be so much fun. So the make-alongs are just one part of the membership. The membership has so many different things in it. I'll leave the link down below. If you are interested, I highly recommend signing up for the waitlist. The waitlist is just going to make sure that you get an email when the membership opens so that you don't forget to sign up. I also kind of give you like other sneak peeks into what we're doing, and you get to join a preview Discord. So that way you're all set up to go once the membership opens. So if you're serious about it, I would recommend signing up for the waitlist. You'll also get access 1 hour before everybody else to sign up. And we have 100 spots. So once those 100 spots fill, I'm closing the membership. So it's either going to be, I'm going to open it on Tuesday, December 3rd, and then either once we hit 100 people or through that Friday, December 8th, I think it's December 8th, it will be open. So that's all of the membership and all of the different fun things that are available right now. Okay, Vlogmas is coming up. As I mentioned at the very beginning of the episode, I am doing one more podcast this year next week, and then no more podcasts, no more Tuesday videos, because there is going to be a vlog every single day starting December 1st. We'll continue with our yarn store tours with our yarn store tours on Saturdays. But other than that, it's just going to be Vlogmas. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. And then we have one more in-person meetup for this year. Our final yarn store for our 50 States project is in South Carolina. We are going to Copious Fibers on Tuesday, December 3rd from 5 to 8 p.m. If you want to meet us there, it is in Irmo, South Carolina, which is in the Columbia area. So if you're nearby, come and join. It's going to be a fabulous time. Okay, I think that's everything. I think that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next and final episode of the year. Bye!